I personally don't look at cheating, and in my work, I don't look at cheating and think that's the end. Hi, my name is Omar Torres. I'm a licensed clinical social worker here in New York, and today we're going to answer the most Googled questions about relationships. What does a healthy relationship look like? In my experience, some of the healthier aspects of a relationship that I notice involve mutual respect, two people that have similar interests, but also separate lives. So they have their own friends, they have their own hobbies, they have their own interests, and they can share it with their partner here and there, but it's not contingent upon their partner being there. What is an open relationship? An open relationship is essentially any non-monogamous relationship. If you're considering an open relationship, first and foremost, I would try and do a little bit of research. So there's a really great book called The Ethical Slut. And honestly, this might sound kind of boring or cliche, but open communication. You have to talk about what the expectations are, what the boundaries are. Essentially, you just want to keep those lines of communication open, and it's going to be an ongoing conversation. Jealousy in open relationships is common, totally healthy. When those jealous feelings come up, the way you talk about it with your partner is essential, right? So, hey, I'm having these feelings, they're really uncomfortable, I could really use your support. Can we chat about this thing that happened that's like kicking up some stuff in me? As opposed to, what some people do when they feel really jealous is that they think, I'm not allowed to have this feeling, so they keep it inside, and that tends to fester. Sometimes resentment can grow from that. Some folks are able to have sex with another individual and not have it impact the romantic relationship. And others have a really difficult time doing that. And it's something that could work for some couples and may not for others. That's why the ongoing conversations are so important. And it's also really important for you to know for yourself what sex means to you and to know what sex means for your partner. What is a poly relationship? Poly relationships refer to more than just two individuals in a romantic relationship. So you may often hear the term throuple. What I've found in poly relationships that are successful is that there tends to be a structure in place already. There might be one partner that sort of fulfills you sexually and another partner that fulfills you intellectually and so on and so forth. So everyone sort of like has a role. How to build trust in a relationship. For some people, building trust means spending time together, having experiences together. I also find that any kind of relationship that goes through like a problem or like an issue where they have to work together as a team, that can be a really bonding experience. So for individuals that have a history of being cheated on, you might feel a little resistant or hesitant to jump into a relationship and just trust them fully. So first and foremost, go to therapy, right? And talk about the experience of betrayal and make sure that you feel fully healed and sort of on the other end of all that pain and betrayal, because that's a lot to go through. So that way you can enter into the new relationship, not necessarily giving them all of your trust right away, but allowing them to work for that trust. I will say that I have seen relationships recover beautifully from cheating and from affairs. So I personally don't look at cheating, and in my work, I don't look at cheating and think that's the end, right? That's that. The affair is seen as a symptom of a larger issue that needs to be addressed. How to make a long distance relationship work. When it comes to long distance relationships, you have to be mindful of how you're investing in that relationship, right? So how often are you speaking? Are you emailing? Are you texting? Are you FaceTiming? Another really good strategy that I find for long distance relationships is to plan anywhere between 3 to 6 months out in advance what the travel plans will be. Putting that on a calendar will give the two of you something to look forward to. How do you know when your relationship is over? If you really don't feel strongly one way or the other about the relationship or about your partner, that is definitely a sign that something's up. And it may mean that you need to renegotiate the terms of the relationship, or that the relationship maybe isn't right for you anymore or at that time. What I've also noticed is that folks that feel like the relationship is ending will often think about future plans but without their partner. How to get over a relationship. First and foremost, it's recognizing that this sort of thing takes time. Allow yourself to be sad. There's nothing wrong with being sad and upset after a relationship. Remember things like, oh yeah, they used to never show up for me, or oh yeah, they lied all the time. So to sort of go over the things that weren't so great about the relationship. And then finally, to think about things that have nothing to do with the relationship. Take up a hobby, spend time with friends. This isn't something that happens overnight. This isn't something that, it doesn't necessarily take a couple of weeks or maybe even a couple of months. It's a case by case. Should I get back together with my ex? Some of the things that you want to be mindful of is time apart. Was there enough time between the breakup and now that allowed for the two of you to learn and grow and heal from the past pain? Or is it gonna feel like a continuation of the same? And if it is a continuation of the same, then you're probably gonna run into the same issues, obviously. So I hope you all found that helpful, and I hope some of the answers I gave you provided a little bit of insight or a little bit of hope or inspiration. And barring anything extreme, I am a firm believer that there isn't anything that a relationship can't recover from if everyone involved agrees to work together and to do the work.